This is ABC 15 News Taking Action.
Flooding on the freeway, cars submerged on the 60. What you need to know this morning to avoid these dangerous conditions.
The cleanup from monsoon damage continues as downed trees are scattered all over the valley. But some experts say they may not be a total loss.
Helping out in California, Arizona firefighters from Mesa and Scottsdale are taking the fight to the flames to our west. Good morning, everybody. I'm Dan Spindle.
And I'm Allison Rodriguez. You know, another wallop for parts of the valley with monsoon
what
yesterday.
A night.
I know, kind of crazy. So meteorologist John Patrick is in now for Iris Hermosillo. John, what a night.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, the storm started moving into the East Valley, southeast sides of town at around 11 o'clock last night. That lasted all the way through about 1, 2 o'clock this morning, dumping some very heavy rain in the process. We're talking about 2 to 4 inches at some of our rain gauges on the southeast and east sides of town. The US 60 in rural right there in Tempe, 3.72 inches of rain with the storms last night. Alma School and Broadway over that 2-inch mark as well. Power and Main right around 2 inches. So yeah, some very heavy rainers, and that has left behind some flooding issues. We still have a flood warning in effect for places like Mesa, Chandler, Ahwatukee, and Apache Junction until 8:30 this morning. Some of that runoff certainly be an issue, and as you're on your way into work, watch out for some flooded roadways and washes out there tonight. Even though this morning, even though a lot of this rain has started to come to an end for us, some light drizzle down toward Casa Grande and then out toward Gila Bend. We have a few stronger storms out there, but it does look like most of the rain has come to an end for the valley for now. Those temperatures, they're going to stay down for us today as well. We're in the upper 70s and low 80s around the valley right now, so a pretty nice, comfortable start to the day, albeit it's a little muggy out there. Those temperatures this afternoon will only top out around 100 to 101 degrees, but we are staring at another 30% chance of storms as we head into this evening in the overnight hours. We'll continue to time that out for you. Your most accurate forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, John. And check out this new video coming in of the flooding in the East Valley from the ADOT cameras. Unbelievable. We haven't seen something like this in a long time. Flooding on the US 60 and McClintock, submerging cars on the freeways, really creating wakes as they drive by. It was dangerous out there for drivers last night, and we're still seeing a little bit of those slick roads this morning. That's where we find ABC 15's John Treeweiler, where lanes are still closed right now in Tempe. John, what should people know about and where should they avoid?
Well, if you take the US 60 on your commute this morning, at least for right now, you'll want to avoid it. The good news is westbound did just reopen. This literally just happened within the last couple minutes. So you can see live out here, westbound traffic is flowing. This is US 60 at rural. Eastbound traffic is still closed. You have to exit at rural and get back on if you are traveling eastbound. So that's what we've been dealing with out here because of the flooding. ADOT crews are out here right now. The majority of the water is off the roadway. It's been pumped off. You can see in this video, though, just how dramatic it was last night. If we get a live look, actually, if we can come back live, it looks like happening right now. They are opening up eastbound traffic as we speak. So again, this just happening live as we're out here. Eastbound traffic now opening up. So looks like this closure is completely over with right now, as ADOT has gotten all the water off the road. They've had their sweepers out here and they've cleaned up this roadway. So US 60 in both directions, eastbound and westbound, now opened up at rural, but still some really slick conditions out on the roadways this morning because of all that rain that fell last night. So please, of course, use extreme caution. But again, just happening right here now live, US 60 in both directions is open. You can see still some sweepers going by as they open up this roadway. Back to you.
All right, John, thanks. A rough night, no doubt, in the East Valley. Many of you sending us videos of the rain and the flooding in your neighborhood on social media, Facebook and Twitter. Thank you so much. Valerie sharing this video post from outside of her home in the Eastmark area of East Mesa. That's near the Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. You can see rain pouring down the front doorstep there. Marissa G. from Queen Creek at the Santan Valley area showing us the lightning show there. Thanks to Ken Peterson for this shot. Take a look at Ken's lightning strike there. Wow, that cloud-to-cloud lightning there from Surprise. We've all seen him down the trees in Valley neighborhoods all over the place. We caught up with a professional with the tree monkeys. They were clearing trees in Gilbert on yesterday, but they tell us they actually save more trees than they destroy, saying it all depends on where the damage is to the tree. They say if the main branch is gone, the tree has to go, but other times it can be replanted, so don't assume that it's a total loss.
Okay. You got a bigger chance of your tree falling out, getting ripped out of the ground when one of these microbursts come through. So
Andres says that mesquite and Palo Verde trees are the most vulnerable trees.
So if you see damage in your neighborhood, let us know. Send us in your pictures and your video. We'd love to share them here. Send them to share@abc15.com. We'll keep a close eye on those storms, and we're going to have more weather coverage throughout your Friday morning. Let's get to some developing news now. 31-year-old Chandler man Miles Valencia has been caught by an undercover investigator who was posing as a 14-year-old girl. Valencia accused of driving to Pinal County to meet her for sex after sending sexual messages and pictures only to be intercepted by the sheriff's office. A bank robbery to pay a drug debt goes all wrong for one man. Police saying Roland Oxendine gave a note demanding money to a teller at a Bank of America on Power Road in Mesa. He didn't get any. He left only to walk right into the arms of the law. Police catching him because of quick thinking and a good description by the bank.
Caught on camera, dash cam video has been released of troopers in Pennsylvania in a shootout from last year that seriously injured a state trooper. Video shows one of the troopers trying to arrest the suspect, but as he's resisting there, the troopers wrestle him to the ground, even falling into traffic after being tased. Video shows the suspect reaching into the driver's side window of the car and later shooting. That man convicted of attempted homicide. A sentencing date has not yet been set.
Across the nation now, a federal appeals court has ruled the EPA must ban a popular farm pesticide that is linked to developmental disorders in kids. The pesticide in question is called chlorpyrifos. It's used on a range of crops, including apples, berries, and corn. The EPA had banned its household use, but it's still being used in commercial agricultural. Environmental groups suing last year after then EPA Chief Scott Pruitt reversed an Obama-era effort to stop its use. That ruling orders the EPA to stop all sales of that pesticide within 60 days. A shakeup in the political world now. Kansas GOP Secretary of State Chris Kobach will recuse himself from the vote counting process after counting errors were discovered. Kobach is in the gubernatorial primary race between himself and incumbent Governor Jeff Collier. Collier called for Kobach to step away while all outstanding votes are counted. That race remains too close to call this morning. Kobach says that his role was mostly symbolic anyway.
I'll be happy to recuse myself, but as I say, it really doesn't make any difference. My office doesn't count the votes, the counties do.
So if the margin remains close after the mail-in ballots are counted, the trailing candidate can trigger a recount in this election. Let's get to your wildfire watch this morning. Residents living near California's Holy Fire describing that scene as a war zone. Video showing flames marching toward homes. 20,000 residents under mandatory evacuation orders now. Both Riverside and Orange County are under states of emergency. The Holy Fire, which officials say was started on purpose, began Monday. It's burned more than 10,000 acres. It's only 5% contained, Dan.
The crews from Arizona are helping with the fires in California. Check it out here. Mesa's Wildland crew doing mop-up operations. This is at the Cranston Fire and the Ribbon Fire near Los Angeles. Both were put out earlier in the week. Meantime, crews from Scottsdale are at the Donnell Fire. That one is east of Sacramento, and they posted this to Twitter saying that safety is always a top priority for them. Meantime, in our state, we do have 15 wildfires currently burning. Of course, none nearly as large as what's going on to the west of us in California.
Students at ASU preparing to head to class next week, and they can now save a little bit of cash while getting around town. Valley Metro once again offering its U-Pass, but new this year, it's going to cost $150. That's down from $200. The U-Pass allows unlimited travel for students on the bus and the light rail from now through next May. It's available through the school's Parking Services Department.
Meteorologist John Patrick in for Iris Hermosillo on your Friday morning. Wow, incredible storms rolling through the east and southeast valley late last night, early this morning, dumping some very heavy rain, over 2 inches in some spots, over 3 inches actually in some spots at Tempe. About 2 to 4 inches fell in that area, about 2 inches over in Mesa and Apache Junction, and that stretched all the way down into Chandler and Gilbert. So we add to our monsoon rainfall totals here. Things are starting to wind down now across the valley, but we still have that flood warning out until about 8:30. That includes places like East East Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, all the way through 8:30 this morning. We could be running into some flooding issues out there on the roadway, so be careful on your ride into work as we start the day off here. Really just looking at some light rain left over now across southern sections of Pinal County. Still a few rumbles of thunder in southern sections of Maricopa County out there just south of Gila Bend as these showers and thunderstorms wind down for us. We're looking at about a 30% chance of storms again here in the valley a little bit later on this afternoon and this evening. That high only topping out at around 101 degrees. We'll let you know how long some of these cooler temperatures are going to be sticking around in your most accurate forecast coming up.
Time now, 4:40, monsoon aftermath. Stick with us all morning, folks. We've got the efforts being made in Scottsdale to fix the downed power poles.
And you have any Crocs lying around your home? No, we're not talking about the animal. We're talking about the shoe. Why you may want to hold on to the classic footwear.
1 mile at a time, why one man says he almost stopped running after taking on more than 50,000 miles in just 48 years. You're watching ABC 15 Mornings.
ABC 15 and your most accurate forecast right now.
I'm meteorologist John Patrick here with your most accurate forecast. Well, the east and southeast sides of town hit with some very heavy rain late last night and early this morning. Tempe area picked up about 2 to 4 inches of rain. That stretched from Alma School and Broadway all the way over to the US 60 in rural, where we had a rain gauge pick up about 3 3/4 of an inch. We have some flooding issues through Friday morning at about 8:30 with that flood warning in effect here for parts of the valley, and those scattered storm chances return again later this evening. About a 30% chance of storms here in the valley with at least a slight chance of rain here as we head on right into the weekend. 101 in Phoenix today. Temperatures in the high country topping out in the 70s and 80s. We'll keep temperatures in the low triple digits actually through about Saturday before those temperatures start to rebound up to 105 on Sunday with a 20% chance of storms right on through the weekend. That sticks around into early next week, but it looks like those temperatures coming up a little bit around 107 by Tuesday. And of course, we'll have another update this afternoon. Until then, get the latest news, weather, and traffic at abc15.com or by downloading the free ABC 15 mobile app.
This ABC 15 News Update is sponsored by Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.
Get news, weather, and traffic 24/7
on the ABC 15 app
for any device.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
All right, a wide look, or not actually a wide, we're getting pretty close. As a matter of fact, we're talking about slick conditions this morning. The road closure at the US 60 now reopened. If you're just waking up with us here, that is the brand new update. Overnight, that area was closed, but just seconds ago, they finally reopened this spot. Might be still a little bit slick out there, so be careful if this is part of your morning commute. You know, the cleanup does continue as storms in parts of the valley caused down power lines, damage to homes, and one of the worst hit areas was in Scottsdale. Here's ABC 15's Angie Cayley with those repairs.
APS crews can't catch a break. 2 straight days of storms have them working around the clock. Luckily, customers who lost power don't have to wait for them to finish making repairs.
We can route power left, right, north, south, east, west to get as much on as possible. We will run temporary cable. We'll do things to get the customers back on first.
When Wednesday night storm rolled through, APS says about 16,000 customers lost power. And between yesterday and today, they've counted 230 power poles that will have to be replaced. To put that into perspective, the company only had to replace 207 in all of 2017.
The power poles were in the road. There was people stuck in their cars.
Paula Bork works the Cobblestone Car Wash on Scottsdale Road. She says a lot of drivers had close calls. Poles came down in a domino effect right outside the door.
I stayed open last night for a little bit just so, the people that were here waiting to find out about their cars can get something to drink or something. So can get out of the rain.
Firefighters told people to stay in their cars. Luckily, none of the drivers along this stretch of road were hurt. Angie Cayley, ABC 15 Arizona.
APS telling us replacing poles is a pretty lengthy process. It can take a half a day for a crew of 4 to put just one up. Now, if your property is at risk for flooding, the city of Scottsdale is offering free sandbags to you. You can pick them up at the locations that are right there on your screen. So come to your screen to see if they're close to you here. There are 24 hours a day that they'll be handing them out. Bags and sand available, a first come, first served basis, though. There is a limit of 10 bags per household. You can get those sandbags from cities all over the valley, though. Just head over to abc15.com and search sandbags.
Other parts of the valley also cleaning up after thunderstorms in the high country fell down on Flagstaff. Take a look here. Yes, they got some hail. Lori sending us that video of the hail coming down. Is that slow motion? Very cool.
No,
thanks, Lori.
Yeah, more pictures of the hail too now. This is coming in from some viewers in north of the valley, covering the ground. It looks like their patio or something like that. Maybe the stairway to their apartment just getting pounded with that hail. It's from Melissa and Carrie. So thank you for sending that in to us. And if you see damage in your neighborhood, we want to hear from you. Send us in your pictures and video to share at abc15.com. We're going to keep a close eye on those storms and have more weather coverage throughout the morning. John?
Hey guys, yeah, just some incredible storms that rolled through the state just last night, early this morning. In fact, some of the heaviest rain we've seen so far for the monsoon, especially for places like Tempe and East Mesa. These are some of our rainfall radar estimates that came in. It's a mouthful there. Around 101 and the US 60 picked up about 2 to 4 inches of rain there as we head on over to East Mesa. Check this out, right along the 60 and the 202, about 2 to 4 inches of rain fell there, causing all sorts of flooding issues this morning. So we do still have that flood warning in effect until 8:30. Wherever you see this green polygon, it really stretches all the way from Apache Junction just to the west of Casa Grande there, and that's where we're still seeing some rain come down. Pretty light stuff down toward Casa Grande along I-10, and that stretches off to the west just south of Gila Bend there. Even still a few thunderstorms going on there, but overall this activity will continue to wind down for us this morning. Well, temperature's pretty nice for us, actually. We're in the upper 70s right there at Phoenix Sky Harbor, 78 degrees. That dew point is way up there, though, around 70 as well, so it's certainly a muggy start to the day. Looking at 73 in Ahwatukee, 74 in Chandler, 72 in Gilbert. Pretty nice numbers there. We will heat up to around 100 degrees this afternoon, so well below average. Looks like some of that cloud cover sticking around through the morning will help keep those temperatures down for us, but eventually as that cloud cover burns off later in the day, we will see about a 30% chance of storms for us here in the valley as we head into the evening and overnight hours. Now, I wanted to roll you through our U of A model here as we head into about 2-3 o'clock this afternoon. That's when we'll start to watch those storms fire up across the higher elevations once again, and they will slowly try to make their way down into the lower elevations, including here in the valley. Again, about a 30% chance of storms for us, and this particular model actually has these storms regenerating overnight tonight, so we'll have to watch for that late tonight and early on your Saturday morning to start off your weekend here with some storm chances as well. So our thunderstorm threats, yeah, we're still looking at everything from damaging winds to blowing dust, heavy rain and flooding. Some of the storms that do develop a little bit later on today will be capable of turning severe once again. So we'll have to watch for some of those damaging storms to move through here. Really, those rain chances are going to be sticking around for the next several days. About a 30% chance of storms today. We drop that a little bit as we dry out a little bit as we head into this weekend. Saturday and Sunday and Monday looking at about a 20% chance of storms, but early next week and into the middle of next week, it looks like we have to drop that storm chance down to about 10%. So the highs today looking pretty good here. 100 from Scottsdale down to Mesa, 102 for you in Ahwatukee and Maricopa, even some of those outlying areas around town only topping out in the upper 90s, 98 for you in Fountain Hills, 99 in Apache Junction. Bringing the rest of the state here about 84 for you in Sedona, topping out in the 70s from Flagstaff down to Heber, right around 80 in Show Low. And here's that 7-day forecast. We'll keep the low triple digits around at least for the start of your weekend. 102 on Saturday, then we're up to 105 on Sunday, and kind of where we sit as we head into next week. Temperatures hovering around 105 or Monday and Tuesday, with that storm chance going down a little bit by the middle of next week.
John Patrick, the hardest working man in television this morning with what we had overnight. Thanks for that. You know, we love kind of this back and forth rivalry with LA, right? We're counting down to tomorrow night's game. Cards, Chargers out at University of Phoenix Stadium. You're thinking it's preseason. Who cares, right? This year's team, though, has a new head coach, a new system. In fact, Coach Wilkes has not seen anyone play in a live game yet. So tomorrow's game, pretty important for all of those 90 guys trying to make the 50-man roster.
I'm not going to say bigger than normal, but it is our first test. You know, it's our first test, and obviously, you know, every test you want to grade out well. So regardless, you know, if the first team, second or third team guys are out there, you want to go out there, you want to put some good stuff out there on film.
Will Josh Rosen play? We'll have to see. We'll watch for that. Opening round of the final major of the year, the 100th PGA Championship in St. Louis. At the end of day one, it is the guy from Kansas. This guy.
Nice putts in the last
yes.
hour or so.
Gary Woodland delivers his best performance in a major, going with a new grip. Woodland birdies 2 par 5s on his way to a 6 under par 64 round for the one-shot lead over Ricky Fowler. Tiger Woods fighting his way to an even par with a tie for 48th. Phil Mickelson finishing 3 over, lefty tied for 100th place.
Hey, do you remember Crocs, the shoes? Do you have any pairs lying around your closet? You know someone who does. And you got them from Arizona Mills. I know a lot of boxes that you got to check off here, but you got to hold on to them because the company has just announced it is closing all of its manufacturing facilities. Crocs are those slipper type shoes that have the holes in the front. On top of closing its facilities, though, the company's chief financial officer is resigning. Shoes that have already been made are still going to be sold, but the future of production now looking pretty grim. A major discovery in Australia now after researchers find teeth from a 25-million-year-old mega shark. We were just over Shark Week, right? These teeth were discovered south of Melbourne. The pair of fossilized teeth from a prehistoric great jagged narrow-toothed shark, about twice the length of today's great white, just to give you an idea there. Fossil enthusiast and school teacher Philip Mullally discovered the rare pair, which are the first of their kind found in Australia and one of only 3 discoveries in the entire world, Dan.
Today, The Meg opens in theaters, Allison. Coincidence? Out of the hospital, a teen struck by lightning now speaking out what he has to say about what happened.
Crossing 2 worlds, the Game of Thrones connection to J.K. Rowling's new Harry Potter-inspired book.
Hey, it's Mac Watson from Mac and Gatos on KTAR News. I was so sad when you left, Kaylee, but I'm glad to hear you're coming back to ABC 15 for mornings. I knew you couldn't stay away.
Yeah, no need to be sad, folks. Kaylee O'Kelly making her return to ABC 15 mornings. Catch her first day on the air on Monday. It's just a few days away. That is right here on ABC 15 Arizona.
In today's Tech Bite, Samsung finally draws back the curtain on its Galaxy Note 9.
The new flagship packs a punch, water-cooled, a more powerful battery, an AI camera, and a Bluetooth S Pen. But it also comes with a hefty price, $999. Next to the paper battery from Binghamton University that could end up being the future of energy.
Yeah, a new design just been revealed for a 100% biodegradable battery made out of a mixture of paper and engineered polymers. They can break down safely and naturally in water. And how about breaking down that funky smell in your tennis shoes?
So Panasonic has developed an electronic device that freshens your shoes overnight while you sleep. It emits ionized particles that dissolve odors. Right now, it's only available in Japan, but it may soon find its way here.
That'd be good for you.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Sherwin-Williams Paint.
Add the Activia 2-week probiotic challenge to your healthy routine and see how Activia yogurt, with its billions of live and active probiotics, may help support your digestive health so you can take on your day. Start the Activia probiotic challenge today. It works or it's free.
Are you taking the tissue test? Yep. And my teeth are yellow.
Time for white strips. Crest Glamorous White Strips are the only ADA-accepted whitening strips proven to be safe and effective, and they whiten 25 times better than a leading whitening toothpaste. Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
We'll call him a modern-day Forrest Gump, a Wisconsin man running 59,000 miles in 48 years. John Evans tracking his runs even through the holidays. He's dedicated. He says he almost stopped running 2 years ago after he broke his toe.
It was brutal for me, probably the family too, my poor wife. I was just really antsy, I had a lot of extra time, and that knocked me out for 5 months. So I had to start all over again at 1 mile.
Oh man, I have no excuse now. He says his routine has not changed. He runs a 4-mile run 6 days a week. Each notebook in his collection, by the way, represents 1 year dating back to 1970 when he started running.
Wow.
Dan,
love the dedication.
Oh my God, I know. I feel terrible.
Well, get ready. There's another book coming to the Harry Potter universe with a Game of Thrones connection. It's called A History of Magic, and it'll be an audiobook narrated by former Game of Thrones star Natalie Dormer. The book will look into the real-life influences that inspired the magic of Harry Potter, and that comes out on October the 4th. My daughter is obsessed with Harry Potter, and she's gotten me into it too.
Oh, well, I think it's a good thing. You can get the audiobook, put it on, and then maybe go for a run. I don't know about today, John, though. Might want to just keep that run till tomorrow.
Yeah, you know, the temperatures aren't too bad out there this morning, but we are still dealing with some flooding issues, especially for the East Valley underneath a flood warning till 8:30 this morning. We'll let you know we can see some storms back in your forecast coming up.
An aid for flooding victims. What's being done to help those hit hard by this morning's wet weather?